Okay, so I think now it is recording. So we will start the presentation now. We are already late by 10 minutes. I'm sorry for the delay. Okay. So iron carbon diagram. Iron carbon diagram is nothing but a I would request all the students to please do not leave the meeting, or please do not means get disconnected. If you are getting disconnected, then again, if you are coming back, then please try to come via official email address, because these notifications which I am getting right now for entry of the students is very means disturbing me, and it will disturb the complete class also. So please join through the official email address to ensure your direct entry without the permission. Okay, so and please turn off your video, and if required, then only you can turn on your video or audio, right? So I hope that everybody has turned off his and her videos and audios also. Okay, so now iron carbon diagram is nothing but the phase diagram, right? And in this particular phase diagram, we are going to learn about the um, means first of all, you have seen that phase diagrams are having two elements. Means we have seen binary phase diagram. In that particular binary phase diagram, two elements are there. One is element A, another is element B. What is happening there? In element A and element B, what is happening? That we are having both the element as 100%, means we are having the bandwidth of that particular phase diagram is from 100% A to 100% B. And then we have studied that binary isomorphous system phase diagrams also. And then we have seen some examples of the reactions which are happening in the phase diagram. Now this time we are going to study the iron carbon diagram. Now iron is the why only iron carbon diagram, that should be the first question. Means why the importance is given so much to the iron carbon diagram and not to the any other type of diagram. So this question should come into your mind. So I would like this answer from you. Means after some time you can answer. We will complete the things, and then I will ask you again at the end of the lecture this question: why we are only studying iron carbon diagram and not the other diagrams? Means why the university is giving so much importance to the iron carbon diagram only? So iron carbon diagram is nothing but a phase diagram which is having a mixture of iron and carbon. Okay, so what are the various phases that I am getting when I am mixing two elements? One is the iron and another is the carbon. So this thing we have to study. Uh, I can see. Am I audible to you? Is there any problem with my voice? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now, first of all, we have to see what are the various phases when we are considering the mixture of iron and carbon. Now, when we are getting mixture of iron and carbon, so always please note down this thing in your mind also. Always, whenever I am saying that iron, then Fe, pure Fe is not at all possible at the means natural cooling. Via natural cooling, if you are doing obtaining any kind of means Fe element by extraction process. For example, you have extracted iron from the iron ore, then it is prone to have some amount of carbon content in it. So you should not say that we can get pure Fe by the normal processes or the natural cooling processes. So there will be always some or other amount of iron will also always be present in the Fe or iron. Okay. So now these are the allotropes of iron. We have seen this concept of polymorphism and allotropy. So what is the meaning of allotropes of iron? Allotropes of iron means these elements are considered as the various phases when we are mixing iron and carbon. Means they are having different crystal structure. So based on the crystal structure, I have differentiated the phases, right? So if the crystal structure is changing, or if the physical appearance of that particular element is changing, or that now we will not say element, we will say it as the mixture of two elements, or the solid solution in short. Okay, so if that particular solid solution, if the physical or the structural changes are there in this particular solid solution, then I can say that that is the allotrope of that particular element or that mixture. So you can see here, it is the temperature is given in the degree Celsius, and you can see here the time is given. So this is time and temperature. Okay, so with respect to time, what you are doing, you are cooling. Means this is what, this is the cooling curve. Initially you were at the liquid. As time is passing, as time is passing, here you are, then transformation has started, and now this transformation is what, this transformation is mm, okay, now this transformation is what, this transformation is nothing but what, it is liquid to solid transformation. So while we are transforming from liquid to solid, it is the isothermal process, means the temperature is constant here. Okay, so the latent heat is getting extracted in order to convert liquid mixture of iron and carbon into the delta iron. But delta iron is only stable from 1539 degrees centigrade to 1404 degrees centigrade. And delta iron is having the crystal structure, or the unit cell crystal structure of the delta iron is BCC, that is body centered cubic. You can see here the structure of delta iron, body centered cubic, right? Then at 1404 degree centigrade, this delta iron, as the time is passing, is getting transformed into gamma iron or austenite. Okay, so this austenite is the malleable phase of the iron, which is only stable from 1404 to 910 degrees centigrade. So it is only stable from 1404 to 900 degrees centigrade. Then this phase is again getting transformed into what, alpha iron. Okay, so alpha iron is the purest form of the iron, or it is always said that it is mixture of iron and carbon. But as the iron percentage is very less, so that's why that alpha iron is called as the purest form of the iron. Sorry, the carbon, yes, the carbon percentage is less. I think I have said the iron percentage, but the if the carbon percentage is less, then it is called as the alpha iron, right? Then this alpha iron is getting converted at 768 degrees centigrade to the, means initially this iron is at ferromagnetic state, and now it will get converted into paramagnetic state. Okay, so it is non-magnetic. Alpha iron BCC structure non-magnetic we can obtain from 910 to 768 degrees centigrade. It means that at this particular temperature ranges from 768 to 910, or vice versa, we are going to get the iron which is not having any type of magnetic properties. But austenite is having magnetic properties, delta iron is having magnetic properties. That's why this phase is differentiated here. It is non-magnetic BCC iron, but here the structure remains same and it becomes ferrite, means it becomes now ferromagnetic. Okay, so the ferromagnetic state of the iron is obtained at this particular stage. So these are the various phases depending upon what? The crystal structure. So what are the various phases? Liquid, delta, gamma, and alpha. Okay, so I think we should move ahead. So in iron carbon phase diagram, in their simplest form, steel are alloys of iron, Fe, and carbon. So whatever steel we are calling, means we are widely using steel for every purpose. So it is nothing but what? The mixture of iron, that is Fe element, and carbon, that is C. That's why this diagram is also called as FeC diagram, means iron carbon phase diagram. Is a fairly complex one, but we will only consider the steel and cast iron part of the diagram up to 6.67%. Now this percentage is very important. I have emphasized upon the thing that the percentage of iron or the percentage of element that we have considered in the previous phase diagrams was 100%, means 100% A, 100% B. We can also obtain the phase diagram which is having 100% iron and 100% carbon, but we are not going to that particular level. That is up to 6.67% only we are studying this diagram. The diagram is available up to 100%, but we are studying the diagram only up to 6.67%, is because the phases that we are getting after this particular value of 6.67 percentage, these phases of iron and carbon mixture are not at all useful, means their physical properties are not at all useful for any type of the applications, means any industrial, mechanical, chemical, or any kind of applications cannot be, means done by using that particular mixture beyond 6.67 percentage due to its physical properties, right? So that's why we are not considering the iron carbon diagram beyond carbon percentage of 6.67 percentage. Now these are some microstructures. We have seen that which particular uh, which particular phase is stable at which particular temperature range with respect to time. So alpha ferrite is the most stable phase at the room temperature, and 90x zoom is there, and 200 micrometer magnification is there. So after the 200 micrometer magnification, these you can see these are the grains of alpha, means all grains are of alpha only, 100% alpha. And these sides you can see black spots. So these black spots are nothing but the uh, means carbon that is precipitated. Okay, so these grains are of alpha, and you can see that I can only see the grain boundaries. The grain boundaries are due to precipitation of the carbon percentage which is available with this alpha iron at the grain boundaries, and the additional carbon percentage is precipitated in the form of spots inside the grains. So this is alpha ferrite. Then this is austenite at 50 micrometer magnification. 325x is the magnification that we are obtaining. Okay, so 325x means larger amount of magnification, but 50 micrometer means this scale is less, means the focus is less. Okay, so this is austenite. This is also malleable phase, and alpha ferrite is also malleable phase, means in both the phases the iron is very much malleable in nature, right? So we will move ahead. This is the gamma iron. Gamma iron is called as austenite, and it is having 2.1% of carbon. Okay, so 2.1% of carbon means the gamma iron cannot be obtained if the carbon percentage changes from 2.1% to any other percentage. So that's why gamma iron is only stable at the said temperature ranges. Gamma iron is nothing but austenite, and it should have 2.1% of the carbon. Then there is ferrite, which is also called as alpha ferrite or alpha iron. So alpha iron, you can see it is having smallest amount of carbon percentage, and that smallest amount of carbon percentage is how much? So it is 0.025% of the carbon. So 0.025 percentage of the carbon, and the room temperature or the temperature which is below 721 degrees centigrade, at that particular levels I am going to get what? Alpha ferrite. Okay, then alpha iron, sorry, this ferrite is alpha ferrite, and this alpha iron is different. Okay, so alpha iron is the iron which is the pure alpha, which is having less than 0.008 percentage of the iron. These percentages are very much important to you. Okay, so please remember, try to remember this percentage. You can only remember these things if you are going through these notes or diagrams repeatedly or daily, right? Then and then only you can get this particular thing in your mind, and it will get imprinted in your mind and you can easily remember them. So 0.008% it is room temperature. At room temperature it is stable. And this is delta ferrite, it is only stable at very high temperature, and it is having carbon percentage of 0.1 percentage. Now please don't get disturbed if you are remembering or memorizing the iron carbon diagram. Then just from that diagram only you can derive all these data about the phases as well as their carbon percentage, right? Any doubt still here? Okay, so we are going to see this in detail now. Ferrite. Ferrite is the interstitial solid solution of carbon in alpha iron. So alpha iron is 0.008 percentage, but ferrite is the solid solution of alpha as well as the carbon. Okay, so here we can see that it has a BCC structure, body centered cubic structure. It has very limited solubility of carbon, that is from 0.022 or 21 percentage at 727 degrees centigrade and 0.008 degrees, sorry, 8 percentage of carbon at room temperature. What are the physical properties of ferrite? Ferrite is soft and the ductile phase. Okay, so whenever there is a question on iron carbon diagram, at that time this writing means this information about the phases is very much important. Means you have to write down this in information about the phases. Okay, so this first is ferrite, then second is austenite. Ferrite is at room temperature. We are going in the phase diagram from bottom to top now. Okay. So while going from bottom or from room temperature to the temperature till it gets converted into liquid state, what are the various phases that I am going to get? First will be the ferrite. Second is the austenite. Austenite is the interstitial solid solution. Now it is very much important that the mixture of iron and carbon is the interstitial solid solution and not the substitutional solid solution. Means the carbon atoms are going in the space which is in between the interstitial space between the iron crystals. Okay, so whatever the iron elements are there between those atoms, whatever interstitial space is there, at that particular recesses, the carbon is getting deposited and forming different kind of phases here, right? So नींद आ रही है किसी को? Because I am monotonously talking. So please be focused, because this is very important with respect to your examination, also with respect to the further study of this subject also, right? So please do not get bored. Try to maintain your attention. I know it is theoretical, but these concepts are very much useful, and you are going to change the properties of the material just by changing its phase. This is very much interesting. है ना? For example, if you are changing from ductile and malleable steel to a hardened steel, or a hardened steel to a normalized steel, so you are able to change the properties of the material, which is not at all possible in the human behavior, right? If any human is there and he is having some properties, like if someone is irritating, and if you want to change his or her property, that he should not irritate people, he or she should not irritate people, then it is very difficult to change. But in case of iron and carbon, just by studying this science, you can easily change the property just by changing the phase. So for that, this knowledge of phase is very much important. So try to pay attention, proper attention, right? Austenite is the interstitial solid solution of carbon in gamma iron. Okay, so interstitial solid solution of carbon in gamma iron, and it is giving us the gamma phase, which is called as austenite phase, and it has FCC structure. The percentage were given previously, 2.1% of carbon, and austenite can have up to maximum of 2.14% of carbon, and at 1143 degrees centigrade, means above 1143 degrees centigrade, the austenite is stable. Austenite is normally not stable at room temperature, and austenite is a non-magnetic and soft, as well as it is ductile and malleable also. So you can see here what statement has made here. Austenite is normally not stable at room temperature. It doesn't means that the austenite is not at all present at room temperature. Okay, please keep this in mind. Sometimes the retained austenite is always present at room temperature also, and that particular type of steel is called as pre-stressed steel, and we have to relieve the internal stresses by removing the austenite and converting into some other phase, that is cementite, ferrite, okay, like that. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Austenite is not at all stable at room temperature, but still it is present. And now, how it is present? What is the mechanism due to which the austenite is present at room temperature? That we have to study in the further topics are there in which we are going to study this. Okay. Then cementite. Cementite or iron carbide, that is Fe3C, is the hardest phase. Means whenever you want to land or improve the hardness, what you have to do? You have to convert maximum amount into cementite. Okay, so now cementite is phase को हमने पहले स्लाइड में नहीं देखा. Why? Because cementite is having some different type of structure, and it is stable at room temperature. So let us see, and it is not at all the mixture of iron and carbon, but it is compound of iron and carbon. You can see here Fe3C is an intermetallic compound of iron, but due to its physical distinguishness in the property, we are calling it as a different phase, right? So cementite. Let us talk about cementite. Cementite or iron carbide, that is Fe3C, is an intermetallic compound of iron and carbon. It contains 6.67% of carbon. That is the maximum level of carbon that is present in a iron carbon diagram. It is very hard and brittle, as we have discussed. This intermetallic compound is metastable phase and it remains as a compound indefinitely at room temperature, right? Then delta ferrite. It is the solid solution of carbon in delta iron. It is stable and it is also interstitial solid solution, right? It is not at all the substitutional solid solution. It is stable at high temperatures and it has a BCC structure. Again, the same things are written with different kind of presentation here. Alpha ferrite, interstitial solid solution, BCC 0.008 to 0.005025 and stable below 727 degrees centigrade, and it is softest among all the phases. Austenite is also soft phase, non-magnetic in nature with 2.1% of carbon and stable above 727 degrees centigrade. This temperature range na 727 is very much crucial thing. Means it is also called as curing temperature. Okay, so let us see. Then delta ferrite solid solution with BCC structure. You should always remember this. You can see here alpha ferrite and delta ferrite are having same structure, that is BCC. Only austenite is having different structure, which is FCC. Okay, so delta ferrite is stable at higher temperature and alpha ferrite is stable at room temperatures, and intermediately whatever phase we are getting, it is called as austenite or the gamma iron. Please don't get disturbed. Austenite is called as gamma iron. Okay, then interstitial solid solution BCC iron with 0.1% carbon. Cementite is the iron carbon, the compound of iron and carbon with Fe3C and its chemical compound, and it contains 6.67% of carbon and it has a orthorhombic crystal structure. We are going to see this crystal structure. What is the meaning of orthorhombic crystal structure? Wherein A is not equal to B is not equal to C, means the dimensions of the unit cell are not equal, and it is the closely packed, means the maximum packing efficiency is there in this structure. That's why it is called as the hardest phase of the iron and carbon mixture. Then ledeburite, it is the different. Now in every slide some or other phases are getting added. Please don't get disturbed, right? You are going to learn and you are going to remember all these phases as soon as you see the diagram, and try to remember or try to memorize that particular diagram. Then it is very easy for you to understand. Please don't get disturbed. Try to pay attention only. Okay, I'm there to help for all of you. Okay, leadburite, it is the eutectic lamellar mixture of austenite, that is light phase, and cementite, that is dark phase. Light phase and dark phase means what? Whenever we are observing through microscope, then at that time some phase are observed as the light phase, means the contrast is light, and some phases are observed at dark phase. So it is leadburite is what? The eutectic mixture. Now we have seen the eutectic reaction. What is mean by eutectic reaction? Eutectic reactions means easily meltable. That thing we have seen, right? So leadburite is the eutectic mixture, means what? Liquid is getting converted into alpha plus beta, right? Eutectic means what? Alpha plus beta. So 50% alpha, 50% beta is called as what? Eutectic mixture. So leadburite is the eutectic mixture. It means that we are going to get leadburite only at the eutectic point or only below the eutectic point, wherein the temperature as well as the composition ranges are in eutectic range, right? Perlite. Perlite is the austenite containing 0.8% carbon which gets transforms into perlite. Means gamma is getting transformed into alpha plus beta. Which kind of reaction is this? This kind of reaction is called as eutectoid reaction. Okay, it is a lamellar structure with alpha ferrite and cementite. तो अल्फा फेराइट इसमें आपको फेंट दिखेगा या लाइट दिखेगा, और सीमेंटाइट हमेशा डार्क दिखेगा या ब्लैक ब्लैक कलर का दिखेगा. Why it is called as perlite is because it is having pearl like structure. Have you seen the pearl? Means that मोती जिसमें होता है, वो जो सीप जो होता है जिसमें मोती होता है, सो दैट पर्ल जिसको हम लोग शंख भी बोलते हैं. ओके, on that pearl we are having some kind of structure, means some lines are drawn on that pearl, and all these lines are means parallel, means not exactly parallel, I cannot say parallel to each other, but whatever structure is there in the form of lines on that pearl, the same kind of structure is observed by the scientist when they have observed this particular phase. But it is not a phase, it is just called as phase because it is having different mechanical properties, but basically it is what, one line of alpha ferrite is there and one line of cementite is there, and the mixture of alpha ferrite and cementite together is called as perlite. So that's why, due to the physical properties that I am getting into this particular phase, that's why it is called as perlite, right? So pearl-like structure we are going to see in detail in the further slides. It is lamellar structure. It is very bright in appearance, like a pearl, and it has a fingerprint-like appearance. जैसे pearl के सीप के ऊपर होता है, मैंने आपको बताया था fingerprint का भी वैसे ही होता है. So that appearance is present in the perlite. What are the reactions that are happening? So only three reactions are happening in the iron carbon diagram. There will be a question in university examination or in the normal examination also, means sessionals. What are the three invariant reactions in iron carbon diagram? So at that time you have to write down the things that we are going to discuss now. Okay, so these three reactions are observed to be happening in the iron carbon diagram. First reaction is called as the peritectic reaction. Is my voice is getting low, or it is okay? Because I am feeling some kind of breathlessness now. Okay, okay. So there are three reactions. Okay, first is peritectic, second is eutectic, and third is eutectoid. Peritectic you know, eutectic also you know, and eutectoid you also know. Okay, so peritectic is nothing but what? Peritectic reaction, can anyone tell me? I want to see whether you know. Please, if you can answer for all these three reactions, means what is happening in peritectic, eutectic, and eutectoid immediately. Alpha plus liquid is beta, is peritectic. Okay, eutectic. What is eutectic? I'm unable to see the public chat. Yes, I can see now. Liquid is getting converted into alpha plus beta, correct? Gamma is getting converted into alpha plus beta, correct? So these are the three reactions. Peritectic में क्या हो रहा है? दो सॉरी अल्फा प्लस लिक्विड दैट इज डेल्टा फेराइट प्लस, इसमें मैं रिएक्शन बताता हूँ पेरिटेक्टिक में क्या हो रहा है, दैट डेल्टा फेराइट plus liquid is getting converted into austenite. Okay, this is peritectic reaction in case of iron carbon diagram. In eutectic reaction, what is happening? In eutectic reaction, the liquid is directly getting converted into alpha plus perlite. Okay, so that is the eutectic reaction. And eutectoid reaction wherein gamma is getting converted into alpha and perlite. Okay, so that is the eutectoid reaction. This is the iron carbon phase diagram. We have to study this diagram. So now we know all the phases that are present in the iron and carbon mixture. Okay, so let us quickly revise the phases. Whenever we are talking about the phases of the iron and carbon, at that time you should always write down about six phases: alpha ferrite, austenite, delta ferrite, cementite, lead burite, perlite. Where these phases are there in this iron carbon diagram, let us see. Okay, so these phases you can see here the delta phase is there in this small region, right? Delta is written over here, so this is the delta phase here. Then austenite is the, means in this particular area which is enclosed by this line through which I am moving the pointer now. Okay, these lines is called as austenite. Here the austenite is present in this region. Okay, then you can see that perlite and ferrite is present below 727. You can see this line 727 degrees centigrade. Below 727, alpha and cementite is present. Alpha plus Fe3C, which is called as perlite. Okay, then you can see that alpha हो गया, Fe3C हो गया, or the mixture of alpha plus Fe3C is called as perlite, and lead burite is the mixture that we are getting. It is the eutectic mixture. So here the eutectic reaction is happening. So from 1147 to 727 degrees centigrade, the lead burite is present along with austenite and cement. Now please don't get disturbed, right? We are going to see in detail each and every transformation and how the cooling is happening in this iron carbon diagram. Okay, so I think it is already 12:48, so I should stop here. But if any doubts are there with respect to these phases, then you can ask, or if there is a requirement to once again go through all these concepts, then I will quickly revise the concept in the next class, and then we will move ahead with the discussion on iron carbon diagram. Let me tell you that the discussion of iron carbon diagram requires around 7 to 8 lectures, but I will try my best, because 7 to 8 lectures required in the physical arrangement of the classroom. But let us see, I can, if I can complete it within 3, 4 or 5 lectures. So I don't know how many lecture will be required for the discussion on iron carbon diagram. I take maximum amount of time for discussion on this particular diagram because it is very important diagram. So please do not miss any kind of lectures which are upcoming, where till the iron carbon diagram and heat treatment processes are getting completed. Unit number 5 and unit number 6 will be very easy for you. I think unit number 4 also half part of unit number 4, but till unit number 3 major metallurgy is there. So you should please be attentive to the all the classes, means upcoming classes, as well as I would like to make one announcement over here that there will be one test on the topics that are there from in unit number 2 that we have studied already. So that test is upcoming in this week. Anytime I will launch that particular test whenever I am done with the preparation part of that test. That test may ask you some objective as well as some subjective questions. So please be prepared with all the concepts or all the notes, whatever required. You can access through my website, WordPress website also, as well as I will try to upload it on Moodle or the Google Classroom, but I am using the Moodle exclusively for theory purpose and this Google Classroom exclusively for the practical purpose. So I will not mix the things. It is always better to go to the website, WordPress website, and download the necessary notes, but please be prepared for one test which is upcoming, and this test will have means it will have a comparative large amount of timing will be there, means around for 1 hour or something like that, and the weightage of this test will be also higher. So please do not miss this test and try to prepare for this test. If any doubts are there, then the doubts are always, I'm there to solve your doubts via WhatsApp, or if there are doubts, means many students are having same doubt, then we can also arrange a Google Meet, separate Google Meet for the doubt solving sessions also after the class is over. Okay, so if any doubts are there till now, any doubts in the subject, out of the subject, then you can stay back. Let me take the attendance first of all. Please do not leave. I have to take the attendance. Okay, so whether the attendance is recorded, I have to see. Okay, by that time you can ask any doubts if you are having any. Test on second unit, unit number 2, start to end. Start to end, I will not say start to end, but start to whatever topic that we are discussing right now till that topic. But this week only. So I'm getting 35 count and 34 people are here. Okay. So the attendance is over. If any doubts are there, then you can easily unmute yourself in the Google Meet and ask your questions. Otherwise, you can leave. I'm there for 5 minutes, 6 minutes more for doubt solving. Yes, if any doubts are not there, then you can leave.